Some of the thoughts you think aren't even yours, and here's why. There are structures formed from collective thoughts and emotions. I'll refer to them as pendulums, a term used in the book Reality Transurfing. Now, that book is a great read. It touches on this topic in great detail and a whole load of other topics. It is a very, very long book, but it's a gold mine for ideas and yeah, it has a lot of gems. But we'll get back to the idea of pendulums. Pendulums can be a political movement, a social trend, even a sports team. And when people put attention into the same idea, the pendulum swings. And its goal is to keep you reacting because it feeds off your energy and emotions, whether you agree with it or argue against it. And that's the kind of tricky thing about pendulums is yes, if you're pouring into it, like pouring into a sports team, you're obviously fueling that idea and that entity, right? But even if you argue against it, you're still fueling that same thing that you disagree with. So be mindful what you're giving your attention to because the highs and lows pendulums take you through drain your energy, leaving less energy to put towards your desires and the things you want. The easiest way to detach from a pendulum is one, to identify it and identify its influence on you. The easy way to do that is to kind of look at any charged beliefs or emotions you have towards certain topics and ideas and trace it back to the source. There you can easily identify a pendulum that is potentially influencing you or has a kind of hold over you. And then from there, you want to become neutral to it. Don't resist it because again, even if you try to argue against something, you're still fueling it. And even if you resist the idea of it in your head, you're still fueling it with your attention. When you become neutral, your attention shifts, right? And it shifts back to you. And that frees up the energy, emotions that you're pouring into this pendulum. So now you can use that energy and emotion on your goals, your desires, towards aligning with the reality you want. And I say aligning as well because when you're pouring into and you're influenced by a pendulum, whatever frequency that pendulum's on is going to affect your frequency. And if your goal is here, or the reality you want to be living in is here on this frequency, and you're stuck, influenced heavily by a pendulum that's vibrating here, for example, you're misaligned, right? So there are a lot of things to consider when it comes to pendulums and the effect they have on us. A good idea would be like a music artist and the fan base, right? That's a whole lot of energy and it often benefits the music artist or the label above the music artist. So pendulums can be beneficial, but it's often to a small majority, and oftentimes they just drain your energy, right? The people benefiting from pendulums is always going to be a small minority, if any. So be mindful what you're giving your attention to, and understand that even arguing against something, you're still fueling that thing, draining your energy, which can be used to better yourself. And well, they always drain your energy. So be mindful of that. But you might be okay with that. There might be a pendulum that you want to give your energy to, and you're okay with that. And obviously, that's fine. But if you're not aware of some that are impacting you and taking energy away, that's when it can be a negative, right? Because we want to be able to align with our desires easier in general. So if a pendulum is bringing you out of the frequency you want to be in, identify that, become neutral to it, so you're not feeding it and fueling it with your energy, and so it's not impacting your behavior, your thoughts, emotions, all of that kind of stuff. It gets a lot deeper than this, but the book Reality Transurfing does touch a lot deeper. I might make another video on this because yeah, this is just like kind of scratching the surface on the idea of pendulums and the impact they have on us, society at large. But yeah, I hope you like the idea. I hope you're interested to delve in it further. If you are, Reality Transurfing goes in deeply on that, but a whole other range of ideas. And I might make another video on this. But yeah, peace, and I'll catch you in the next video.